Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Tsukishima Kei ex-listener. This one is titled Heartache, and yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. She slammed the door as she entered the shared apartment. Fresh tears streamed down her face. 10:56 p.m., the clock read. "What the fuck, Kei?" she yelled at the man sitting on the couch. He had what looked to be a microwave dinner box in front of him as he was laid back onto the couch. He turned around to look at her. "What did I do now?" he asked in a tone showing his disinterest in the situation before him. "You really don't fucking know? That's it, I'm done. Check your fucking phone, you asshole." She quickly exited the room to their shared bedroom. Earlier that night, YN was waiting outside of the restaurant that Tsukishima had booked reservations for. She stood outside till the very last second she could before heading in. She sat at their table and texted him that she was at the table. The waiter kept coming to ask for her order. Soon, an hour had passed, and still, no messages from him. She ended up ordering a drink to calm her nerves down a bit. She couldn't help the thought that he might have forgotten. She texted it and called him a few more times, to no avail. Another hour had passed, and she looked at her phone to see that it was now 10 p.m. She had been waiting for him since 7:30 outside of the restaurant. Lately, the two had no time to spend together. When Tsukishima had a day off, he would call his friends up and go out with them. When the two did have a time off and a chance to see each other, Tsukishima would start a fight with her. The fights were about anything and everything, as soon as there was, or even at something as small as a sock left on the floor. Tonight was supposed to be the night where the two could finally sit down and talk to each other. She finally gave up and left at 10:30, which is now how they ended up here. Tsukishima walked into the room behind her. He watched as she tossed a suitcase onto the bed and filled up her clothes in the suitcase. "Can we talk about this before you do something dumb?" "This isn't dumb. What's dumb is me falling for a heartless prick like you." Wait, sorry, I kind of misread that. Let me do that again. "This isn't dumb. What's dumb is me falling in love with a heartless prick like you," she shouted as she slammed the bag closed. "What the fuck, YN? You heard me, Kei. I'm sick of feeling like I'll never be enough for you. I'm sick of all these fights. I'm sick of waiting 3 hours for you. I waited 3 hours, and the worst part is, I wasn't even alone. Or that I was waiting for you to finally show up. No. The worst part was, I knew deep down you didn't fucking care. I knew deep down that you wouldn't come because that's how you are. It just seems to fit you. I just forgot it was tonight, okay? Why don't we talk about it now? We're both here after all. Let's just get it over with already." "Get this over with?" She repeated his sentence back to him. "How about we get all of this over with? I'm leaving and we're done. I'm so done with this. I can't take this anymore." "Come on, YN, it was just a mistake." "No, this isn't a mistake. Loving you is a mistake. Don't contact me again, Tsukishima." With that, she left, right out of the room and out of the front door. A loud slam made its way and echoed through the apartment. Tsukishima sat down on the bed, picking up his phone, tears staining his cheeks now. He dialed a number and put it to his ear. "You were right. I made her think that I didn't want to be around her anymore." The person on the other side of the line responded. Tsukishima soon hung up to the knock on his door. It was his best friend, Yamaguchi. The two were seated on the couch and were now talking about how they could fix this. "I told her to leave me alone. It's over. It's done. I messed up, Yams. I don't even know how to get her back." He tossed a small box across the coffee table, and then he slammed his head down where his hands were once again. While all of this was happening, YN had her car pulled up to the side of the road, tears streaming down her face. She pressed her face into the steering wheel, sobbing immensely. She missed him. Not the man who was there now. The one who was happy to see her. The one that gave her soft kisses. The one that would hold her as she slept. She missed who he was 2 months ago. She wasn't even sure if that was him anymore. She just wanted to get as far away from him and her new heartache as possible. Chapter 2 thing. It's been almost a month since the breakup with Tsukishima and YN. Tsukishima was acting more distant with everyone, even more than he was before. If he wasn't working, he was at home, hugging a stuffed Stegosaurus that YN had given to him on their first year anniversary. Yamaguchi would show up at his apartment to make sure that he was eating. Yamaguchi was trying to reach out to YN. She responded once, telling him that she knew that he didn't care about her, then blocked Yamaguchi right after that. Even though YN was putting on an act that she was fine to Yamaguchi, that was the farthest thing from the truth. She sat in her apartment, longingly gazing out of the window most nights. She would stare down at the city lights, remembering all the evenings she spent out with Tsukishima, close by to where she was. She decided one particularly rainy night that she would head out and go get some groceries. The rain was coming down almost as if it was a waterfall. YN had left her apartment, forgetting to grab her umbrella or even a jacket with a hood. She walked up her block to the nearest store, entering inside. Not too far from where she was standing, a wide-eyed Yamaguchi had spotted her. He was picking up something for him to take over to Tsukishima's house to eat. YN had just grabbed a small, quick bowl of cold soba that was already pre-made in a small cooler. She left as quickly as she came. Yamaguchi was one person behind her in line. She didn't seem to notice him. She was lost in her own thoughts. He knew that she wouldn't talk to him He knew that she wouldn't talk to him, as anyone who tried, she would block them, claiming that Tsukishima made himself very clear. Yamaguchi knew how bad Tsukishima was doing, so he couldn't help himself from walking a safe distance behind YN. He was having a silent battle with himself over if he was just being creepy or if he had a good enough reason. He was looking up and realized that she had been climbing the stairs to what he assumed was her new apartment. He watched as she walked up into a door on the 4th floor, the 3rd apartment from the end. He stepped under the side, protecting himself from the rain as he pulled out his phone, sending a quick message to Tsukishima. Upstairs in the apartment, she dropped her soaking wet clothes down on the floor. She approached her bathroom as she fell to her knees, crying once again. The empty rooms are a constant reminder of what she once had. She thought that she might have seen Yamaguchi out tonight, but she worries that she just imagined it due to her overbearing loneliness that she had been feeling lately. At Tsukishima's apartment, Yamaguchi was now walking in the door to a sad Tsukishima sitting, still holding his dinosaur plushie. "Did you get my message?" Tsukishima reached for his cell phone that was sitting on the top of the small oak table in front of him. 36, 4th floor, 3rd from the end. What does this even mean, Yamaguchi? "We're going out, come on." Yamaguchi looked down at his pajama pants. "Don't fight me on this, please." Tsukishima just sighed. "Can we take the cars so I can stay inside? It's raining." Yamaguchi sighed and picked up the keys. "Let's go." Yamaguchi drove them to where he had sent the text. Yamaguchi had drove them to where he was talking about earlier in the day. He bowled up into the small grocery store that he was already in. He then left Tsukishima's car and went in. "What are these for?" Yamaguchi dropped the flowers into Tsukishima's lap. Yamaguchi then began driving to the short distance as the rain continued to storm down. He pulled up in front of YN's building. "YN lives here." Where? "The place I texted you." Tsukishima was already out of the car and running, closing the door before Yamaguchi could finish. Tsukishima was running, not being cautious of how slippery it was, and he tripped on the last step, scraping his right knee on the wall of the 4th floor, knocking him over. He looked down at his ripped pajama pants as his knee was now freshly wounded, bleeding. The flowers were now damaged as he landed on them. He regained himself as he rushed towards the door that Yamaguchi had messaged. 1, 2, 3. There, he thought to himself as he hammered on the door. Tsukishima didn't realize how hard he was knocking anymore as he just kept going, so desperate to see her once again. On the other side of the door, YN was sitting at her window again, sniffling. She assumed that the rain was just making her ill, not aware of the fact that she had actually started crying again. She thought about how nice it would be to have Tsukishima nurse her illness away. Her thoughts were interrupted by a loud hammering at the door. She slowly approached her door and looked out at the people. There stood a tall blonde figure, touching his ripped open knee. Tsukishima? She had thought that she was imagining it as she pulled open her door. "Kei?" He looked up to meet her eyes. Sleep deprivation clear on her face, along with the marks that looked like they were from tears. Her hair was messy and wet, eyes puffy and swollen. She held her arms to cover up her mouth as she held the door open tightly. Kei, you're bleeding. YN reached out to him, pulling him inside of her apartment and sitting him down on the couch. YN, these are for you. His hands held out the damaged flowers. She takes them and sets them down on the little table. I'm gonna go get something for your knee, she said as she rushed off into the bathroom. Tsukishima looked around the apartment. It looked as if someone was moving out rather than living here. She came back rushing to him. What happened, Kei? Are you okay? She picked up to clean his wound. He groaned out in pain. I slipped up on the stairs on the way here. I didn't want to wait another minute to see you. Kei, she said as she looked him in the eyes. Tears could be seen forming at the sides now. He reached over to brush them away. Please, just hear me out. She nodded in agreement. I'm not good at expressing my emotions. I made a mistake. Well, many mistakes. I should have tried to talk to you about how I was feeling. I wasn't intentionally pushing you away. I did avoid you, and I was rude. I was just... He took a deep breath, tears now falling from his face. It's okay, Kei. Take your time, she said as she placed her hand on top of his. I didn't want to break up. I was just distancing myself so I could hide a surprise from you. He reached into his pajama pants pocket and pulled out a ring. I was gonna propose to you, YN, on our 2nd year anniversary this month, and I was just scared that you would say no, and then I kept distancing myself, skipping our dates, and just avoiding you. I acted like such a huge prick, and Tsukishima was cut off by YN pulling him into a kiss. Tsukishima at first thought he was imagining it. His hand moved up to her hair, adding more passion into it. The two pulled away only because they needed air. Kei, I'm sorry too, for everything. I feel so bad for what I said to you. Loving you wasn't a mistake. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I missed you so much. Tsukishima pulled her into his chest, his heartbeat racing faster and faster. I love you more than anything. I'm so sorry for everything. This last month has been terrible without you. Will you come home with me, YN? She pulled away and looked up at him. Of course, Kei. I missed you more than anything. I know you have trouble at expressing your emotions, but we can work on it together. On one condition, she looked up at him with clear confusion on her face. He let go of her fully and got down on his non-injured knee. Will you marry me, YN? Yes, Kei, I love you so much. I can't believe that you had this in your pocket the whole time, she said, leaning down, giving him another kiss. I love you too, so much. I always had it in my pocket, just in case I ever saw you again. She looked at him as she covered her mouth with her hand. Kei. Oh, and YN, thank you for giving me another chance and making me the happiest man I could ever be. He pulled you into a hug again. They stayed out there for a while. Oh, Yamaguchi's in the car. She chuckled. Let me go grab my bag and we can go. Is this your apartment? He asked. Oh, no, it's my friend's. On that note, Tsukishima helped her grab her bag as they headed out, back to their once shared apartment. Back in the car, Yamaguchi apologized for following YN and not trying to talk with her. She didn't seem to mind now that she was back in Tsukishima's arms. Yamaguchi dropped them off as they headed upstairs. The two changed as they climbed into bed together. Tsukishima pulled YN into his chest. I miss holding you like this. He spoke softly into her hair. I miss it too, Kei, she said as she gave him a light kiss on his chest. Tsukishima's dinosaur plushie was no longer in his hold as it was now someone else. Boom! That was adorable and also sad. Like, why are you gonna do me like that, Tsuki? But it's okay. We all know you have your struggles, and that's okay. It's okay. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. That is a very important step because YouTube it doesn't be putting it in your notification box if you don't. So think I should go do that. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you like the video too, because that helps push my videos out to other people, and it's just good for the YouTube algorithm in general. And comment down below who my character you want me to do, and I'll try my best to do them for you guys. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.